By the time you guys will see this podcast, I have actually gotten married. I think out of everything I've made, this might be the thing I'm the most happy with how turned out. Blocking these was a family activity. We all watched them together. But I'm really happy that it looks like I'm going to be able to dress them all in these cardigans. And I don't know what I'm going to put in here 100%, but chocolate and yarn 100%. I need to have that. Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Oline and I'm a knitter from Norway, and welcome to my knitting podcast. Here I talk about all things knitting, current projects, finished projects, planned projects. Sometimes I talk a bit about all of my yarn, just anything that pops into my head while we sit here and chat. This week has been a really fun week, a really nerve-wracking week, a really special week, probably one of the most special weeks of my life, because by the time you guys will see this podcast, I have actually gotten married, which feels really crazy to say. It's felt so far away the whole time, and now there's only a couple of days left. I am podcasting one day earlier than usual, just so I make sure I have the time for it. So today's Thursday, and then there's only tomorrow left, and then the wedding. So that feels really crazy. But I wanted to check in and update on everything I've been knitting this week, because I'm still knitting a lot. And also, as this is going to be the last podcast before the wedding, I think this is going to be pretty dedicated towards wedding stuff, and I thought I'd show everything and go through everything I have been knitting the last year, because on Saturday it's going to be a year since I started this project. So I have, oops, now something fell out, but I have this big basket where I have kept all of my wedding stuff, so I thought we would just go through that. I just have to warn you that this week, since I'm just going to go through this, I don't think I'm going to be able really to sort through it, to talk about it in like the right order, from like active project to finished project, what I worked on this week. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm going to talk through everything in just the order it's in here. But I think first up we can start with this one. I'll just put this down here. But we can start with this one first. It's just in our milk jar right now, but this right here, it's my bouquet. I think this is what I'm calling the front of it. Somewhere around here. I'm really happy with this. This is crocheted. I've crocheted every flower I counted, and I'm pretty sure I have 21, where 3 of those are leaves and the rest are flowers, and most of the flowers also are leaves. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. I think out of everything I've made, this might be the thing I'm the most happy with how turned out. I have a good mix of different things here, but I haven't really gone that into detail with the yarns and everything in the previous podcast, so I thought I'd do that today. And also the patterns, I'm going to link the patterns because most of these are tutorials. The one thing I don't have though is these leaves, because I, after making all of the other leaves, just kind of figure out how to do leaves, so don't have a pattern for those, but everything else will be linked. So we can just head into it. First, here at the front, one of the last flowers added. These are the forget-me-nots. They are the blue. Is Dalegarn Lerke in this blue color. I don't know the color. I think it was discontinued. I got it at my yarn store for 50% off. So this is Lerke, and then the yellow here is Raumagarn Petunia. And then the green that's really for most of the flowers, this darker green, is Drops Charisma in the color Forest Green. I'm pretty sure that's called. So I'm just going to mention the greens ones. I have 3 different ones, you'll notice. And then I have this rose. I have 3 different roses in 3 different colors, but this is the main one. I have 3 of these, and this is knit in Sandnesgarn Tynn Pergynt in the color, I'm not quite sure, but it looks to be some sort of ice blue. This is also that same one. And then I don't know, we can take all of the roses once we're at it. Then I also have this rose here in the middle. This is the rose that's the same yarn as the Page Boy's cardigan. So this is Merino Extra Fine in the color Ice Blue, and then I have one more in Merino Extra Fine back here, and this is in Spray Blue. This is a lot darker than the other ones. This one and this one are quite close together, but I really liked having one in the middle and then also scattered throughout. Let's see, and then next we can take these leaves that I don't have a pattern for. I have 2 of them, have 7 leaves each, and then one just have 5 leaves because I was running out of yarn. And this yarn is Drops Cotton Light, I think. It's a cotton and polyamide mix. Didn't know it was polyamide when I picked it out. It was definitely, out of all of these yarns, the worst to work with, but it was the only right color I could find, and in the finished product I'm really happy with the color, so it was worth the pain it was to work with. And I don't know what that color is called, some apple green maybe. And then I have these carnations here. I have 3 of those as well. I either have 1 of each flower or I have 3 to make it an odd number. But these carnations, let me see where it is. Carnations here I have 3 of, and those are also made in Drops Merino Extra Fine in the color Off-White. And I got to try a lot of different yarns for this, cotton, wool, merino wool, and out of all of these different ones, I would say that my favorite to crochet with was the Merino Extra Fine. I don't know what it was, the way it was spun something, it was just way easier to work with. Probably the superwash and the merino made the yarn glide better, so it was really pleasant to work with. But those are the carnations. And then I have these Calla Lilies. These are also made, the white ones are made with Cardigan Lerke in the white color, and then the yellow part again is Petunia, Raumagarn Petunia in yellow. And then I also made one bigger blue one. It's kind of hidden here in between all of these flower buds. But I have this one, and this is made in Sandnesgarn Mandarin Petite, held double. And since it's held double, that made it a bit thicker. So that is just a bit bigger. And then again, the Raumagarn Petunia in here. And then I think, lastly, we have all of these little flower buds. I don't know what else you would call it, but flower buds. I really liked the idea when I made them. And then when I had finished them and had 3 of these flowers with these buds and like 2 other flowers, I hated how it looked. And then I've been a hater for quite some time and wondered if I should just take them out. But now that I have the whole thing and it's a bit more bushy, it's a bit more filled out, I really enjoy them again. I feel like it comes a bit more to life since I have these kind of springing around, and they're also, most of these, the stem here are, what would you call them, flower picks, but I have some for the leaves to hold its shapes, and for these I have also some wire in them so these can move a bit more around. So I really think it kind of brings more life to the flower and also ties the color a bit together, because each of the flowers, you can't really see the stem of them, but each stem has 3 different colors, and it has this white, which is the Cardigan Lerke from the Calla Lilies here, and then it has the blue ones from the Forget-Me-Not, and then it also has this Mandarin Petite from the big Calla Lily, and that's also quite close to some of the roses. So that's the bouquet, that's everything. I also weighed every skein, weighed everything, weighed the flower, I want to say picks, and then at the end also weighed the bouquet, and this is coming in at 500 grams, so it is quite big, but I'm really happy. I've also now decided on the placement of them to the best of my ability. I'm not a flower decorator, but I'm happy with it now, and I've got this silk, I don't know what you call it, to kind of make a handle. It's not the size of my hand, the handle, but if I tried to make it go further down or further up, these would break. So this is what we're working with. I'm really happy with the look, and it's also surprisingly comfortable to wear. I would imagine it wouldn't be this comfortable because of all of these wooden picks that aren't really forgiving to hold, unlike more real stems, but it's surprisingly comfortable. I think I found a really great place to hold it. But yeah, that is the bouquet. I'm really happy with it. And yeah, that is one of the totally finished things I have now. Let me just place that back in here, because since some of the flowers are on wires and everything, I can't really have it laying down. It would mess up the flowers. And then just working our way down, we can talk about more of my previously finished projects. And I have my socks. These are the ribbed knit socks by Tuva Sandok. I finished these last week. They are knit in Sandnesgarn Sisu and Drops Kid Silk. The Sisu is in white and the Kid Silk is in mist. And I made these socks. I think I made the biggest size. There are 2 sizes, and then you just have to measure on your foot when you're knitting it how long you want it to be. Absolutely love this. I did not get my grandma to weave in ends for this, but we did visit my mother because her birthday was this week, and she weaved in the ends for me. So I've actually also gotten to give them a bit of a bath. I did not block them because I was afraid of them growing too much, but I have washed them, so they are a bit more comfortable, a bit softer, so I'm really happy I had the time to wash them. But I've talked about this before, so I'm not going to talk for long, but I just wanted to take the opportunity this podcast to just show everything, have it all together. But these are the socks. And then we have all of the mittens. My mom also weaved in ends for these. When she weaved in ends for my socks. And these really needed a block, so I'm really glad she did that. Mine did not. I hit my size right, so I didn't block these, but since it is a structured cable mitten, it really needs to be kind of blocked just to get this to look better. So I'm really happy with how mine look. These are again knit in the same yarn that the socks are, and then for these they really needed a block, so what I did was that blocking these was a family activity. We all washed them together, squeezed the water out together, and then I made my son try them on quite wet so I would know how much to pull on them. They're still not big. They still won't last him, but they fit. And these are also structured, cabled, so they needed it anyways, but they fit a bit better now. And then these are the ones from my fiancé, just plain ones, because that is what he will get the most use out of, and he thought this was a bit feminine, so he has plain ones, and I also needed to stretch his ones a little bit, but now they fit perfectly. All of these are the same yarn as the socks, and now they're all done, and they also feel so soft and lovely now that they've been washed, and I'm really happy I had the time to wash them and for them to be completely dry. So these are also mittens. I don't know if I mentioned, but these are the autumn cabled mittens mini, and these are the autumn cabled mittens, and they are by Strikkesoffe, one of my favorite mittens both to make and to wear. I love them. I've made a pair in Lima before as well, and that's a really great everyday mitten. It's lasted me 4 years now, and I've been wearing them quite a lot. I think they're great, and it's also fun to knit because as you knit, you see your progress a lot because you do cables. Of course, your progress probably a bit slower than you would usually, but you see your progress, so it's kind of worth it. In my opinion, I really recommend these. And I'm now realizing I didn't say what I'm wearing today, but since we're talking about cables anyway, I can say that I'm wearing my Moby sweater by Petiteknit. I made this in 2023 in September, October somewhere. I have a video all about it. I sadly have not used it loads because the sleeves are a bit short, the neckline is a bit tight, and the body just fits very true to size on me, and I wanted it more oversized. But putting it on now, I quite enjoyed it again, so I think it just depends. I'm going to try to use it a bit more. I was thinking I would get rid of this, sell it, donate it, something, but I'm going to give it another try. But this video isn't about that. I just wanted to mention what I'm wearing a little bit. And then the next thing here isn't actually not made by me, it's made by my sister. But I thought I might as well show it. But this is the, I don't know what it's called, slip dress. I'm going to wear under my wedding dress just to make it, I don't know, flow a bit better, not get like stuck to the skin. She made this for me last weekend while I was visiting my mom. She was also visiting, so she sewed this and I was knitting. So I have this as well. I don't know what the pattern is called. I don't know anything about it because I'm not the seamstress of the family, but this is also handmade. Everything is pretty much handmade. So just wanted to show that as well. But it's a bit hard to show the whole thing. But yeah, that's it. And then to what I've actually, or I did actually work on the bouquet this week as well. I think I crocheted 3 roses. So that's one of the projects I did this week, but this is another. I'm making page points cardigan. This one I made in January. And then one of these I made a few weeks ago. And then I'm pretty sure it was this one. This one I finished today. And as you can see with the 2 latest ones, when I say finished, that's a broad term because I have yet to sew the pockets and I've yet to do buttons. And even for the one where I've done buttons, I haven't weaved in ends. Today's Thursday, so I am kind of on schedule. I need to do pockets and buttons today to be on schedule. I would love if I was able to finish that quite early today, so I would be able to block these as well. This is merino extra fine and it looks a lot better once it's been washed. So I really hope I'll be able to do that, but I have to finish in time so I know they'll dry. But I really hope I'll be able to do that, but I need to do some work first. But let's see, these are made in merino extra fine, as I said, in the color ice blue. And I've made 3. The smallest one, the one that's the most finished, is in size 2 to 3, and then the 2 other ones are in 4 to 5. And the one I've knit on this week, I made the entire thing this week. I cast on after I filmed last week's podcast. So last Friday, I think. No, I didn't cast on then. Or did I? I think I cast on Saturday, actually. So I've knit this since Saturday. I'm really happy that I've been able to finish it by today. I thought I might not be able to finish it by tomorrow, but before tomorrow. But now I need to do the pockets, which is the worst part because I have to mattress stitch them together, and I'm always afraid that I'm making mistakes and that it's going to look bad, but it will, no matter what, be better than leaving them unfinished. So I just have to do that. But I always hate having the worst part left to last, and then also weaving in the ends. But I'm really happy that it looks like I'm going to be able to dress them all in these cardigans, and I think it's going to be great. With everything else, let's see, it kind of matches. I don't want to pick up the bouquet again, but it kind of matches this. It's a bit darker. It matches quite a few of the flowers in the bouquet. Even one of the flowers in the bouquet is the same yarn. So I think that's going to be really lovely, and also with these pearl buttons that are the same that the wedding dress has, I think it's going to be really great. So I'm really excited for that. I just am not so excited for what's left. I have really been feeling some last week and definitely this week, since I am kind of one track mind right now. I'm just knitting on wedding stuff and trying to finish everything, and of course that's what I want. I want everything to be finished in time, but I'm itching to cast on something else, to work on something else, to just just do whatever I want to. I'm really excited about that. I can't wait until Saturday when I can just cast on whatever I want to. I'm probably going to cast on absolutely everything. I'm going to end up with so many whips after this, but yeah, I'm struggling a bit with that because it's not super motivating to just do the same thing over and over again. But I'm so close to the finish line now that I'm going to make this happen. And I also get my friend comes tomorrow, and she can help me with Mittens as well. She's a knitter, so together we'll get through everything. But these are the Page Boys cardigan, and the thing I worked on mostly this week was finishing that cardigan up, because that was really important. And then another part of the bouquet kind of, and another part that kind of ties the Page Boys cardigan together are these. I'm always afraid I'm pronouncing it wrong, but boutonnieres. These ones, the forget-me-nots. I wanted lighter forget-me-nots since my fiance's, or when you watch this, husband's suit is quite dark, so I didn't want the same color forget-me-nots because I thought that would blend in too much. So I did lighter ones to also match the Page Boys cardigan. Then I did these flower buds from the bouquet, but I only did them in white to have like lighter colors, more of a like pop. And then I also did these leaves, which was stressful because I had so little yarn left, but I did manage to squeeze a little mini leaf out of it. And then I wrapped it. I had it wrapped last week, but then I hadn't found any like fastening mechanism to fix that. But I made my fiance visit our flower shop this week. I think it was yesterday actually, and he got one of these things to fasten, so I had to wrap it again. I don't know if you can see it, but this is now double wrapped just so we can make sure it stays, and I think it will be really nice. And I really think, let's see, I really think it goes well together with the bouquet as well. I really think they match. I think it's going to be really cute. I'm really happy with these. I don't know, these are the thing I have used the least amount of time on. This is also one of the quickest projects, even though it took me some time, but I started on this in the middle of January, so I've only been working on this for a month, and still probably what I'm the most happy with. But yeah, there's not much more to say about these. I've already talked about the yarns, but I'm really happy I managed to get in all of the different like stem colors, because I used 3 greens in the bouquet, so I wanted to use 3 greens here as well. Really happy I managed that. And then my bag, just for a day of essentials, probably some yarn, probably some chocolate, if I know myself right. I don't know what I'm going to put in here 100%, but chocolate and yarn 100%, I need to have that. But this is the honey bucket bag by Petiteknit. It's in honeycomb brioche, and I'm really happy I made this. It looks really cute. It is a bit tiny. I don't know how much it will fit, but I made this. This is in the same yarn as my wedding dress, Drops Sisu in white, and not Drops, Sandnesgarn Sisu in white, and Sandnesgarn Alpaca Følgetråd in off-white. and I finished this, and then this week or last week I got my mother to sew in lining. I'm going to try to turn it inside out so you can see the lining. This is the lining. I think it's from an old pillowcase from my mom's cabin, because it has these, it's embroidered with these flowers, so it's really cute. Also on the bottom there is a flower embroidered. I'm really happy she did that for me, and really happy with how it turned out. And I have some yarn here so you can see. Definitely, yeah, I think it can fit with everything else. I think I can fit at least 2 skeins of yarn in there, and that's going to be more than enough. I can probably get away with just the one as well, but that is the bag. It is a bit crinkly because of the lining, but I really like it. But yeah, that's this one. And then the star of the show, I think the thing I've been working on the longest, the thing I'm the most stressed about, the thing I'm the most uncertain about. I don't know if I'm uncertain because I'm uncertain, or if I'm uncertain because it's just getting so close and I've been working on this for forever and I'm kind of blind to it now. But of course my wedding dress, I'll just have to pick this up here because it's big. But first up, the belt, because that's the easiest thing to hold up. This is the part of the wedding dress that has taken me the least amount of time, or knitting the belt took me the least amount of time. Sewing in pearls took me absolutely forever, but this is the belt. It's cabled with an I-cord edge all around, and then for each cable I have one of these pearls. I really enjoy how that looks. I'm really happy with this detail and what it brings to the overall look, and also the fact that it hides where I tie on the mohair skirt. I think that's great. But yeah, that is the belt. This is also knit in sisu and alpaca felodra. I don't know where I got these pearls. I got them when I visited my grandma this summer, but I don't know where. But they're just some basic pearls. And then, let's see if I can find the thing that actually took me the least amount of time. And that's this one. The one thing for my wedding dress that I followed the pattern for. And that's these mist sleeves. They're a bit hard to show. But it's detachable sleeves. Just that I can put on. Kind of a shrug. I don't know what you would call it. But it's sleeves. So I get to wear sleeves so I don't get cold. But I also get to take them off. They have this lovely crisscross thing here. They have all of these lovely ends that I'm yet to weave in. I also think I should probably steam it, especially this crisscross part here, so that lays a bit better. So definitely something I need to get to. This is made in 2 strands of white or off-white drops kid silk, and 1 strand of kid silk in the color mist, because it's made in 3 strands of kid silk. So this is a bit lighter than the mohair skirt. I'll show you in a bit, but I followed the pattern for this, the mist sleeves by Garnoslikt, and that made this wonderfully easy to do. I didn't have to second guess anything. I didn't have to frog. I didn't have to think about a million things. I could just pick up the pattern and go, which was lovely, and why this took me the least amount of time. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. They are exactly what I wanted the sleeves for my wedding dress to be the whole time, and I'm really happy Garnoslikt made a pattern for it, so I didn't have to figure that out on my own, because if I had to do that, I can promise it would have taken a million times longer. So that and the belt are like the easiest thing I did because I didn't have to think that much. And let me just get up here. I'll talk about the mohair skirt first because that's been done for a while now. And then we'll leave the main wedding dress for last. There's no way I'm going to be able to fit all of this in frame. But this is the mohair skirt. It's knit in 1 strand of mist and 1 strand of off-white, both in kid silk. It's really long, it's really light, it's really airy, it's kind of exactly what I wanted it to be. But I know I made one mistake when it came to both the mohair skirt and the wedding dress, and that is that I didn't increase enough. I only increased here right at the top, and that means that it does fall kind of right down, which I think is a fine look, but I think I wanted a bit more volume and for the skirts to spin a bit more when I spin. So if I were to do this again, I would probably increase a bit more, but it is what it is, and I am quite happy with how it looks. I think with snow and everything else, it does look great. This is also longer than the wedding dress, and every time I step on it, which I do, it grows a little bit because it's still quite springy. I also think I need to hang this because now it's been packed in a box, so it's quite wrinkly, so I need to figure out where to keep these in the next days so they stop being so wrinkly. But that is the mohair skirt. There isn't really a lot to say about that either, that at least that I haven't said before. But yeah, that's it. I think it ended up weighing a bit under 400 grams, which is crazy for this much fabric. But yeah, here it is. It's huge. And then lastly, for the wedding dress, which I actually have been working on this week, you can't see it on the top. I still hope I'll have time to work more on this. It really needs a bit more care, but last week I had it on, I don't know what you would call it, bust mannequin something, so it was a bit easier to see. I don't have that this week, but I have sewn in pearls pretty much all over the skirt, quite far apart, because these are the same pearls that I used for the belt, and the belt used up almost all of the pearls, so I just barely had enough to go around, so they had to be spaced out quite a lot. And then still for the bottom 23 centimeters maybe, there wasn't enough pearls. But what I think I'm going to do, I just need to have enough time, but I'm pretty sure I'll have time this evening and then also pretty much all of tomorrow. I'm going to do, because this pearl set came with lots of different sized pearls. I don't have them with me right now, unfortunately, but these are kind of the size that's right in the middle, and then there are 2 or 3 smaller pearls, and then 3 bigger pearls or something, I think. So the pearls that are just a tiny bit bigger, I want to like blend them in and do bigger pearls on the bottom. I think that makes sense to have the heavier things towards the bottom, and then also with the smaller pearls to blend them in and kind of fill some of the gaps that are really large in between all of these pearls. And you can see the pearls, but they do a lot. I think they change the look a lot and makes everything a lot prettier, but it isn't really crazy. So I think you could add in more pearls without there being like too much, because I don't want to tip into being too much. But I think small pearls also scattered throughout would be nice, and then as you get up here you can do even smaller pearls. And then I think I want to do some pearls at the top as well, because that is looking quite plain now, but just some super tiny pearls scattered a bit throughout here. Of course, sewing pearls takes quite a long time. I think we took the time when we did it this weekend, and 1 pearl on average takes me 3 minutes. And then if I know the placement and I work really quickly, I can move right into the other, but that doesn't really happen. There's always some second guessing, there's always something more. So I think 3 minutes. I think on average I'll get in like 7 or 8 pearls in half an hour. Is that right? 3 times 10 is 30 minutes. I think so. So I get in a bit less than 10 pearls each half hour. And on the skirt I think there is maybe 40 now. But of course that took me a lot longer because I was second guessing a lot more. Now that I have a lot of the pearls placed, it will be easier to not second guess as much, except when it comes to this. But this isn't that much. The skirt is a lot bigger. This isn't really as big, and then the back is also open, so there doesn't need to be as much happening here, and it's also a lot smaller anyway, so I think that should be doable, but I'll definitely be working all the way up until the final due date. But I don't feel that stressed. Of course, things could have went a bit better. If I had designed more things before, I could probably have gotten better skirts for both the wedding dress and the mohair skirt. But as it is, I'm happy with it, at least now that I have pearls. The wedding dress was too plain last week, but now I'm quite happy with it. And together with everything else I've made, I think it's going to come together and be really nice with the bouquet, with all of the page boys wearing the same cardigans, with the mittens, with everything. I think that's going to be really lovely. I'm really excited about it. Maybe by the time this comes out, I will have posted pictures. I don't know. I don't know exactly what the timeline is going to be that day, but yeah, by the time you watch this, I'll have got married. I'll be wearing the dress, so that's quite crazy to think about. Hopefully, future me will have made everything, finished everything, gotten everything to where she wants it to be. So fingers crossed for her. But before I go and continue with everything I need to do, I just wanted to talk a little bit about something else, because I'm really excited to cast on something else. So I've been trying to think about what I can do for a wedding cast on, because I'm not going to wait any longer than that to cast on something new to scratch that itch. And at this point, what I've kind of decided on is this. Let me show you. So I know for certain that I want it to be something for myself. So one of my options is going to be this sweater number 14 by My Favorite Things Knitwear in Drops Baby Merino and Drops Puna, which I'm really excited about. I have a sweater like this before, but the V-neck, and I love that. And this is also a quite simple pattern, but it's on big needle, so it grows quickly. But I also thought that maybe if I get the time, fingers crossed, I can cast this on Friday, and then so that's something I want to do. But I'm also feeling it's a bit too plain. And then my other thing that I want to cast on the most, but I'm trying to tell myself not to because it's not the smartest, is this. I really want to cast on the Celeste. I'm trying to convince myself not to because it's color work, but I think I'm going to, and I think I'm going to be fine because the Celeste starts with the neckline, and the neckline is quite big. So probably during that whole day I won't get further than just the neckline anyways, and that's just one color. And if I get any further, the first couple of rows of the color work are just two colors anyway. So I'm trying to convince myself that I'll be fine to do the Celeste. And then also if I get to cast on the sweater number 14 the night before, once I'm done with the neckline on this, I can just switch to the other project. I really want to knit on something else, but I also really want to knit. Knitting is a bit part of my life, so I want it to be a part of my wedding day as well. So that's kind of where I am with that. Just wanted to mention something else than just all of these wedding projects, just for my own sanity. But I think that's it. Those are all of my wedding projects. Some finished, some unfinished. Hopefully all finished by the time you see this. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me this week, even though it was very single-minded. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. If you did, please leave a like and a comment. That means the absolute world to me. And if you want to see more from me, please subscribe. Bye!